Hey everyone, it's Adam here, and I've almost been living in Toronto for a full month now, almost 30 days, and in those 30 days, I've experienced quite a bit. And so in today's video, I want to give you guys my top 5 things I hate and love about living in Toronto after 1 month. I'm taking this video seriously. I actually went and created a little list. I'd give you a peek, but then you wouldn't watch the video, so let's jump right into it. We're gonna start off with the juicy bits, the 5 things that I hate about living in Toronto. So coming in at number 1, it's got to be walking. Now that makes me sound lazy. It's not the act of walking, it's how you have to do it. So in Toronto or any other big city, your personal bubble shrinks. In Kingston and smaller cities like where I'm from, you know, when I walk to school, I'm on a sidewalk, I don't see another soul in sight, and I just get to breeze on by. In Toronto, you cannot walk with your guard down. People are constantly shoulder checking you. You have to swerve in and out of stuff. You have to be alert for cars that run yellows, but it's really just the people. There's so much foot traffic, especially where I am. Right where I am in Toronto is it's the busiest part of the core. If you live in the GTA, you're not going to experience it so much in the outer GTA, or even northern Toronto, or kind of east and west outside of Yonge Street. But right in the core where I am, there are so many people. Here's an example. One time I was waiting for the subway, and I was in the subway station leaning against the wall. So you know how much space there is between the wall and where the subway comes, like the yellow strip. There was that whole thing for people to walk by. I'm leaning on the wall trying to take up as little space as possible, as you have to do, and this person turns the corner and they walk right by my face, like this close to me, with the whole thing. Like, personal bubble, forget about it. Another one. You start to walk like you drive cars. If 2 people are coming towards each other, you split right. And if you're ever coming towards somebody and you know when you step the same direction and you're like, what? Go right. And if they go right, that's to them going left, and they're the ones who are messing up. You're in the clear. You gotta be on guard. Okay, let's move on. This one has to do with distance versus time. So this is kind of like a pro and con. Like in Toronto, a lot of things are close within walking distance, but as soon as you have to go like 3 or 4 miles, unless you have a lot of time on your hands, it gets tricky. There is subway and transit, but everyone knows the TTC here isn't the best. So here's an example for you. The other day, I snapped the high E string on my guitar, soloing. I went to Steve's Music on Queen Street West, which is about an hour walk for me. So there and back was about 2 hours of walking in the rain. I could have taken the subway, but I was being cheap, so I didn't want to. So it took me 2 hours to go buy that pack of strings. After all that walking, I only bought 1 pack, came home, and when I strung up the Majesty, I went to clip it with really crappy wire snips. Look, I don't have tin snips to snip actual guitar strings, so I had to use this pair of pliers with the wire cutter thing in there, but it was crap. Basically, I snipped them all eventually, and when I got to the high E, it was such a thin string, I went to snap it, the string broke. Moral of the story is, I walked 2 hours to buy a pack of guitar strings, and when stringing and they broke again, it was another 2 hours to go get more. I haven't actually done it yet. But that's an example where the distance versus time thing is kind of crazy, and this is all big cities. Like, I remember LA is probably the worst for this. I needed a camera battery charger when I was in LA. I looked up camera stores and I was like, sweet, there's a camera store 4 miles away. No, I think it was like 3 miles away. It took an hour and a half to get there. It took an hour and a half to drive 3 miles, but you had to do it by the freeway. There was no way to walk there. So the distance versus time thing can be annoying. Okay, this next one is safety. So you don't feel as safe in a big city. I guess all things considered, Toronto's not that bad crime-wise, but sometimes you get spooked. Now, I'm gonna admit it, I don't have many phobias, but hobophobia, they're just freaky, you know? They come running out and they're on drugs and they're shouting at pylons like they're people. That stuff sketches me out. I don't think I'll ever get used to it. When they talk to themselves, different people, man. Other things, like there's a little courtyard down here that I can see out my window, and sometimes late at night I'll hear glass breaking or a big bang, and I'll be like, what the heck is that? Last night I heard some really loud music, and I look out and there's this G-Wagon and a bunch of fancy cars and like a gang, and a bunch of them park their cars and then get into one car and drive away fast, and the cars are like, their lights are flashing, and I'm thinking there's a bomb about to go off. I prayed, but it didn't. It was just me being, you know, hyper imagination. But that's just an example of the safety. You know, you fear for your safety a little bit more when there's some crazier cats out there. The 4th thing, Noise pollution. Oh my goodness, noise pollution. There's an old hotel near me that they actually stripped down to its bones and are rebuilding into a condominium, and it's loud. For some reason, the construction goes on while you're sleeping, because I guess they think if you're already asleep, then they just do it in the night while you're asleep. But it's so loud, and the construction workers, they bang their bobcat buckets on the ground, and I can hear them right now. You can't because of my pro shotgun mic, but I can hear them. So they start at like 12 at night and they end at like 9 in the morning. Why? No, they're still going right now. Maybe they just go all the time. There's a lot of construction and noise pollution, and I'm not that high. Pros and cons to this as well. If you're higher up in a building, you don't get as much of the noise, but it's a long elevator ride up. If you're lower to the ground, you get more noise. Quicker to zip up and down out of your room. All right, and 5, building inconveniences. Again, this might not apply to everyone. People who are in school might have a completely different idea of the 5 things they hate, but for me, my condo, I really appreciate how much they take care of the place, but oh my goodness, the inconveniences this place has. I remember my real estate agent, when I was looking for a place, telling me she wants to buy a home because she was just done with the inconveniences of a condo, and I was like, I thought condos were convenient because you don't have to mow your lawn. There's different things, right? You don't have to mow your lawn, but now there's monthly fire alarm testing where the chief of fire comes in and rings all the fire alarms for an hour. That's annoying. I had to evacuate my truck from the parking spot so they could pressure wash the floor. Also had to move my truck so they could repaint the lines. What else? Just a ton of things. Like every other day there's something. And they always have notices in the elevator, and they're really nice about letting you know, and it never sneaks up on you, but it is annoying. They're always shutting off the water, just like little things here and there constantly. Just annoys me. It's 5th on my list, but it's a lot smoother in your own home. Okay, now into the things I love. Let's talk about it. Remember the first thing that I said I hated was walking? Well, the first thing I love is walking. This is something that has pros and cons, and I already mentioned the cons, but the pros about walking, you know, like I said, I don't hate the act of walking. I love putting in my earbuds and just walking instead of driving. In the winter, it's the worst when every single time you want to go anywhere, you have to get in the car and like drive in the muck. It just gets tiring not having the fresh air. Now, my perception of walking might change when it gets a little colder, but I actually like the cold. I like the cold and be able to bundle up more than being stinking hot and not be able to strip down anymore. I guess I'm a Canuck, but I love the cold. I'm ready for it to get cold. It's super sweet being able to walk to a Subway around the corner, walk everywhere. I love it. Walking everywhere is great. You know, I have my truck here, but that's to get out of the city to go visit places or stuff like that. So there's pros and cons to walking. I actually do enjoy it, although it can be a little harder to do in Toronto than Kingston. There's more to walk too. So you give some, you take some. Now the second thing, again, this might be something to some people that they hate. I love it. As being on my own. I have my own place here. I moved out at 17. I was a minor. I'm still a minor. I'm 17 years old, living on my own in this dope condo in Toronto. But that means I have to sweep the floor. I have to do my laundry, make my meals every day, and I do cook because I'm a baller G. Obvious things like making your bed you already did, but now it's, you know, it's more than just keeping your room tidy, you know, it's your whole life. You have to keep it maintained by yourself, but I love it. I love it. Living on my own is so cool. I love you too, Mom and Dad. Definitely will enjoy coming back and not having to cook for myself every day, but I do love it here. Just when I wake up in my bed, that's another thing. You know how when you're a kid, if you're a normal kid, your bed is against a wall? My bed here is the first bed I've ever had in the middle of the room, and I didn't realize it till I had it, that having a bed in the middle of the room is a sign of adulthood. And you know how much easier it is to make your bed when it's not against a wall? You'll find out, or you already have found out. It's incredible. Yeah, I love that. Okay, number 3, what I love about Toronto is the hustle. I love it. You can only be in Toronto if you're making money. That's just how it works, right? Rent is skyrocketing here. It's very expensive. So everybody here is making money, and that means everyone here is grinding and hustling. It's so productive. Also, everybody here takes care of themselves better. Like, you don't notice it, but like, you know how like there was a big worry about obesity rates rising and, you know, people are getting fatter? When you come to these cities, you know, there's juice bars everywhere and everyone's insane about yoga and it's fitness, and fitness is a huge thing right now. There's a boom. 1,000 different types of fitness. You don't like lifting weights, you can go do CrossFit, you know? So there's the hustle, like the financial district, all the dudes in the suits, like making money, doing this stuff. And then there's just the people living healthy, active lifestyles more than you see in a small town. That's what I find. I just love the hustle, the grind that everybody has here. It's like a healthy attitude. Number 4, the experiences. Now this is like the main reason I came, right? So being a vlogger, I just wanted to know that if I didn't have a plan for a video one day, I could just step out of my door, go get lost in the city and just do something. There's a lot more going on than in a smaller town, obviously. So, you know, there's always special events going on and festivals and just more stuff to do. Makes it really good to vlog. And you just experience a lot of life living in a city, even if it's for a short time. And number 5, I had to put this at the end of my list so I didn't sound too fat. I love the food. Oh, the food. Come on, anybody who lives in a big city knows the food. Or maybe you take it for granted and then you go somewhere else, some little town where they have like, oh yeah, we have that one restaurant that lady owns on the corner where everybody goes. That's good for so long, but so many options of food. Oh my goodness. My family visited Vancouver and they had a surplus of Japanese food. They love Japanese food. Here, I feel like it's Thai food. Now, this is one of the most multicultural cities in the world, which means that reflects in the food. The food is dope, and any type of food, any style you want, you can get the actual, authentic, genuine food, you know, not like fake food. We're not talking like a Thai McTaster from McDonald's, we're talking like actual Thai food. And this surprised me as well. It's not that expensive. There's such a wide range. It could be very easy to go to an expensive place and end up spending $200 on your date with your girlfriend. But there's also these little holes in the wall everywhere, these little pockets of amazing cuisine for dirt cheap. Just downstairs in my building, there's this place that does a $5 power breakfast where you get like this big plate of breakfast for $5. Yeah. And my mom told me when I moved out, you can't eat out every meal. You have to learn to cook for yourself. And I was like, that's true. She said it was expensive, and it can be, but it's also cheaper than I found. You can get some cheap bites. That about sums it up. Hopefully the video wasn't too long. Hopefully it wasn't too short. And this is after 1 month. So this is my initial 30-day impression of living here, sleeping here, breathing here, eating here. That's what I found. I might do an updated version of this when I move out, because then it'll be 1 year from move-in day, and I might do a revisited video. So let me know if you want to see that. Hit the like button if you enjoyed this video. It really helps out. You know, my channel's kind of in a dark hour right now. Moved to Toronto to try and make it on YouTube. If you would like to help me make it, I will be forever in debt to you. So I thank you so much. Be sure to subscribe and ring the notification bell so you can be notified every single time I upload a video. I hope you guys enjoyed this one, and as always, this was Adam, signing off.